My school day ended with a call over the intercom, and Miss Josey, can you please take a telephone call? It was the nurse from West Florence that said, Miss Josey, we have your son on the tennis courts at West Florence, and we think he has had what we believe to be multiple seizures. It clicked with me very quickly that it was his heart, and I said, it's his heart, he has a heart condition. And they said, well, we have called ambulance services and they are on the way, and we would like for you to meet us at the hospital. A patient representative came out to try to talk to me, and she said, well, Miss Josey, we think that they have him stabilized. They're still about 5 minutes away. And I looked at her and I said, what do you mean stabilized? That must mean that he wasn't stable before. And she said, well, his heart stopped, they believe, on the tennis court. And thankfully, he was in PE class and surrounded by folks that knew what they were doing and responded very quickly and very well to the emergency at hand.
Well, the outcome would have very easily been very different had we not have been in the circumstances with the people trained around him and the AED readily available.
Their quick thinking, no doubt, saved his life.
When I first saw Wilson, it was hard for me to make clear decisions after that.
When I first saw him in the ER, his face was pretty scratched up and he was fighting. But I remember just seeing all of the doctors and the nurses and the hecticness, but the organized chaos of the ER, and just everyone trying to do what's best for my little brother who was fighting for his life.
And it didn't take us long for the doctors to say, the heart is working. You know, we got the heart working. Your son was without oxygen for 7 minutes. The physicians recommended something called a hypothermic coma, where essentially they reduce the body temperature down till the body's very cold, and it's an induced coma for a couple of days.
Our doctor said, this is research-based, this is research-proven, absolutely this is what we need to do.
I remember walking back and talking to my dad about it, and we were talking about how Wilson, if he was going to be strong or not, if he was going to make it or not. I remember when he almost started crying, that's when it really started to impact me, and I started understanding what the severity of the problem was.
When they brought him out of the coma was Wednesday morning, and they started warming him up, and we knew that was the critical point. The
way, as Wilson began becoming himself again, I mean, it was such just a joyous time.
Well, it is crazy to think that happened to me, but the doctors and everybody at the hospital I was at assured me that the internal defibrillator is a safety net, so nothing like that could ever happen. Really, other than having that device implanted, really, I'm the same person as before.
I always have been very guilty of, you hear that there are these labs where all this research is done, and while that sounds great, until it really hits home and makes a difference, and not just a difference, I mean, it is the difference that it made in our life.